NIL continues to come up as a big topic. Kirby Smart chimes in on that during his interview with Mike Krzyzewski, the head coach at Duke. Most people know him as Coach K. And he said it's one of the things that he's concerned about the most. He said, it concerns me beyond any measure. He says the leadership in the SEC is tremendous, and I hope he can impart a lot of knowledge across the sport and have a lot of impact because Greg Sankey's leadership has been really impeccable. But what we're headed towards is really scary. It's scary for the coaches, it's scary for the young men, and it's scary not just about them making money. I have no problem with them making money. I'm worried about the love and passion that the fan base is have for the game going away, and that scares me the most. You know, Kirby's not Dabo, who is extremely sanctimonious about this stuff, and I got to tell you, it's pretty annoying. But I think what he's touching on is that there are a lot of people that are resentful that the kids are making money. I mean, it's just what it is. And, I don't, I've talked about dog instruction for a long time here, and I really would encourage y'all to get it. It's taken a lot of hard work, etc. And because of that, I'm profiting off of it. Well, there's players who are getting up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning and they're working hard and they're doing what they can do. And now, when does Keely Ringo get to monetize his name, image, and likeness? When does Kirby's monetized his? How about Jordan Davis? How about JT Daniels had one of the most successful NIL deals um, coming into this season. Make sure you pick up Dog Instruction. It's right down below. What Kirby's touching on there is there is an undercurrent of resentment, I feel like. And maybe Kirby's not trying to say what I'm saying, but I'll tell you right now, there is resentment amongst a lot of fans, or plenty of fans, that the players are getting played and it's not going to be college football anymore. But the problem with that is we've not been college football for a long time. I mean, not been college football has been the case since South Carolina and Arkansas came into the league. Um, not been college football has been the case since Oklahoma, Penn State, and Georgia won a Supreme Court case in 1984 for the right to broadcast more television games than just three. So uh, there's going to be some change that continues. I love it, and I've grown to realize that we're not going back to normal. Normal doesn't exist, and that applies to everything. Whether you're talking about sports, life, there is no normal. It's just the new normal, and the new normal occurs every day. And the players, this doesn't really affect them. What he's saying is talking about um, the older guard, which is gonna be resentful and not want change. And I think there's well, I don't think there's multiple movements at the same time. You've got the money from television, which is fueling an explosion in the sport, the likes of which we've seen over the last 15 years, 10, 15 years. We've seen coaching salaries skyrocket. Kirby's going to be probably a $10 million man here soon each year. And we've seen because of the popularity of the sport and this Supreme Court ruling, you've got the explosion of NIL money. I don't think there's anything the NCAA can do. I don't see how the NCAA can control NIL. This is something that's been decided by the court, and it's what it is. The transfer portal is a different conversation, but there's been a lot of change lately. And I think what you're going to see are brands that are big brands will continue to get larger. If you win, you are more likely to win. If you have won in the past, Tennessee, Florida State, specifically Miami, those three schools, there's no guarantee that you will explode in the future the way that Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, very specifically, have done a good job over these last half decade. Because And that's going to slowly hurt the sport. I do think that will hurt the sport. I mean, Alabama's last 12 years, I don't see how you can say it's been bad for the sport. I mean, no, people are watching college football at levels we didn't even come close to in the 90s, at levels that in the 2000s you didn't see this. Yeah, for one national championship game, but like Georgia, Florida was not watched by 7 million people or 6 million people. That didn't exist. The most watched Georgia, Florida games have been in the last 3 and 4 years. Well, the 2008 Georgia Florida game was massive. It was as important game as ever. So it's hard to explain because it's very nuanced. But let me read one more time what he said. It's scary for coaches. It's scary for the young men, not just because it's not just about them making money. I have no problem with them making money. I agree with that. I'm worried about the love and passion that the fan bases have for the game going away. That's what scares me the most. And why does that scare him? Because if you don't have passion in the sport and you don't have fans, now this you don't have coaching salaries that they are. You don't have uh, job security the way that they do. I have a lot of friends in broadcasting, and broadcasting's paying the bills here. And during the pandemic, there was a fear that there would be a correction on coaching salaries. Fear. There was a hypothesis that there would be a correction in coaching salaries, and we don't know if we've been through enough time to see that play out. I don't think there will be, but there was a fear that there would because the money just wasn't there. If you don't have the fans, if you don't have the attention, you're not going to have the same passion and wherewithal to pay coaches because the fans make all of this happen. It's y'all. People, I mean, everybody, if people should say thank you. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for buying DAWGSTRUCTION. I can't do this if y'all don't watch. I can't do this if y'all don't buy. I can't do this without our subscribers at Dog Post. And we can't do what we do without the players getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning. We can't do what we do without Kirby recruiting players or Nick recruiting players. Okay. We can't do, in many ways, we can't do what we do without Dabo being sanctimonious. Because what else will we talk about? This is an ecosystem. This is a supply chain, a digital supply chain. This is a really very big thing. I love college football. I've chosen to take my life and cover it. Now, it's not as important as real things like curing cancer or curing AIDS or fighting pandemics or, you know, stuff like that. It's entertainment. But if the passion for the entertainment goes away, like Kirby's talking about, we are going to have a real problem. For television networks, Disney, News Corporation, Paramount, CBS, college football is a very important part of their revenue center. For Disney, it's a big deal. For News Corporation, it's a big deal, no question. It is important that somehow this balances out. I know some of the deals that the guys have gotten for NIL, and they're dumb. Like they make no sense for the payer of the money. No sense at all. I think it will balance out. I think what Kirby's concerned about is not irrelevant. I mean, I think there are people who are going to say, oh, this is becoming like the NFL. It's not for me. Little secret for you. There's nothing bigger than the NFL. Nothing. I mean, there's the popularity of the league has never been higher. Okay? It's huge. So if college football becomes more like the NFL, it's not going to hurt Georgia. It's not. It's not going to hurt Alabama. It might hurt Texas Tech. It will hurt Texas Tech. It will hurt Cincinnati. And the question is, will we go back to what we had before? No, that will never be the case. And I think that's something Kirby understandably is saying, hey, I'm concerned about that. I get it. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but We have built a monster, and I say we. You don't think I've helped fuel, do this too over the last 20 years? Of course. That's part of what I've chosen my career to be. It's part of what this business is. And I understand that there are risks. There are. Um, I just don't think it's going to get so overheated in my lifetime that fans won't come to games. But I think that the prevalence of television is the number one thing we're talking about here, and it's changed society. I don't mean in a bad way or a good way. It's just changed society. It's what it is. We're not based on newspapers anymore. You can pick up Dogstruction, the link down below. Make sure you're checking it out. You don't have to buy it, check it out, but make sure you buy it.